opportunity for me.
Hey,
The only
we
thing
can still switch one out.
I have the wheel. I made the wheel. The wheel stays.
You know what's really fun about the wheel?
I'm the only one with the
just-
editing powers.
That.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
I forgot what die we're rolling, and there they are.
You clarified for me earlier, that's why I wanted to make sure. I was like, let me have all my ducks in a row. I have a D8 out. Is that correct?
Okay. I think we wrote it down.
I don't think so. I think we just have the tracker. And we wrote lowest goes first.
We got that. You know what? Let's just use a random die every time. Who cares?
So I think we literally joked about this. We're gonna forget the rules.
It didn't even. We remember the important one where it was lowest goes first because we wrote it down. It wasn't even. You know what? How about this? The winner. We'll start this next week because I already. Wait, that's a D10.
I did that last episode. I do remember that.
The winner will choose what die we roll.
Okay, you won last week.
No, I said we'll start it after this one.
I have the stat of who won last time. You can pick the dice.
I know.
We have the opportunity. We're making.
I
the rules
already
up
have
on
a
the fly.
D8 in my hand, so.
All right. Well, for everybody confused here, why we're talking about dice, and this is not a role-playing podcast.
Welcome, nerds.
We have a lot of interests and hobbies, and they all overlap with media in some different type of way. And we just like excuses to roll dice.
You know what, though, is really cool about dice? A lot of them have really cool art. And some could say they're like the poster child for a lot of different games. And you know what? We're talking about movie posters today.
There was a lot of leaps, but you got there.
Hey.
You did it.
Eventually. Hey, if we want more leaps, I have baked turtles right next to me. They're not a sponsor, but I'm watching my calorie intake, and I bought that before I did, and now they just sit there and stare at me.
I thought you were going to say it has something related to the movie you picked.
No, none of these do.
No, I was waiting for more clues, more hints, but yeah.
You want to list? It was at the website screenrant.com/best-movie-poster-ever-rank-no, whatever that's called. What is that? / Ha! I got there.
Don't worry, guys. I'm just as lost as you are. All I was going to say is that
I'm a pirate.
we already watched that movie in December.
Yes.
Treasure Island.
Yeah, it was also on the cruise boat. Like, I walked by and I'm like, oh, hey. There it is.
But yeah, so we are in our 2026 series, which feels weird to say because we keep planning these series like way far ahead. So it feels weird when they actually happen. So in the past few years, if you've been following us, you know we've turned basically into like movie watching and yapping. So 24 was A24. 25 was
directors
for a different one for every month to change it up. And then now we're doing it where we have a bunch of prompts and we go out and seek a movie to fit that. So we're no longer watching the same exact movie every week unless we just happen to.
This year is the closest to the original concept of Pointless Discourse that we've ever got to.
We just don't have any quizzes because...
Yeah,
that's the only thing. I just asked if we're going to do a podcast, I want to do BuzzFeed quizzes. And I have not done a BuzzFeed quiz since our Gravity Falls watch through.
We done some at a couple end of things. Hey, I'll do BuzzFeed quizzes.
Oh, I don't feel like looking for them anymore. Because
Okay.
I don't know what movie. Okay. I don't know what movie you watched. I can't pick one custom for each of us.
I'm curious. Movie poster personality quiz.
I've done it. I've taught the people how to find silly little quizzes.
We've been doing this for what? 5 years.
I just mean the quizzes we haven't done in the last, like, not as often.
Wait.
Because we used to do a quiz at the end of every episode, but our episodes were a lot more, like, unplanned.
Unplanned and, these, I'm just getting...
What movie should you watch? Yeah.
Yeah. Which movie character am I? Movie poster quiz.
I can't believe I didn't put a movie quiz, personality quiz as a prompt. That is a missed opportunity for me.
Hey, we can still switch one out.
I have the wheel. I made the wheel. The wheel stays.
You know what's really fun about the wheel?
I'm the only one with the editing powers.
That. But you can also just add stuff. Like, if you don't... I could... There's... Go ahead.
Imagine if one day I just spin a wheel and it's something that's not on either of our lists, and you go, wait a second.
I'll be like, I see. So she took episode 304 very to heart. I think it's 304. Hold on, I can click
it's at least our third episode second episode in this series. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's episode 304.
Wow. But no, yeah, it is a missed opportunity on my part. I could adjust one, but I also think all of our prompts are still fun.
Yeah, or just add it.
Just
put it in.
It's uneven.
So
I don't want to leave any out because we left the buffer for all our other yearly episodes that we do. I did pick one that was Pick a Movie For Me website, movie generated from Pick a Movie For Me. It's kind of like a personality quiz because you give it some slight prompts, but
yeah. So maybe off the next whatever at the end of the episode when we find out what the next thing is, we can do that. Oh my goodness, I forgot. I took a picture that I meant to share to you, and it's very movie related.
Movie related?
Yeah. Hold on, where are you?
It's a picture and a movie. Is it a poster?
No, it's not a poster. But it is a close something. Where is it? There it is.
I know you went... How tall is it?
Slightly short. Like, the head comes maybe up to my shoulder.
Well, that's a tall puppet.
Yes.
For audio listeners, Dpayne shared that he went... For video listeners, his camera is trying its hardest to get into focus. But you got to go see the Henson exhibit. Is this the New York City one?
Yes. So, me and the frequent listener, we went up to New York City on Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday. Well, last Tuesday was technically yesterday before our recording. But anyway, the day before New Year's, and we went up there, and we went to the Museum of Living Motion. I believe that's what it's called. It's really neat. Honestly, Hop, if you have the chance, I think it's a really cool exhibit just to go up because it's not, they have the Muppet and Jim Henson thing, and in there you can make your own Muppet. You can see that they have a friend of ours from the streaming days that I keep forgetting to send him another picture, Civil Rights, where his that's a really funny name every time I think about it. But Civil, his online logo is Swedish Chef from the Muppets, and they have the Swedish Chef Muppet there, and I keep forgetting to send it to him. So there was that, but the neat thing is that they have all these different displays on the history of how they do camera, how they shot movies and TV shows. So they just have this hallway of just prosthetics from the very first movies when they start doing it. They actually had part of the face and hands for Space Odyssey 2001. We did monkeys.
Watch that.
Yeah, so they had the monkeys there. Well, the face there. They had the mask for Mrs. Doubtfire. So that was pretty neat. And then right next to that, they had this whole display for The Exorcist, and had some of the props of how they did the vomit scene, how they did this, and then then there's like another corner there where it showed like how they like did certain editing tricks, and then you could go to this other section that was like, okay, here's a movie, like here's why this is so important a movie, like why sound effects are important. And like they'll just play the scene and it'll just be like, oh my goodness, there's nothing here, like the video, and then like you can add like different sound effects so that way the scene sounds like
The
alive.
feelings you get from it. Yeah.
And then they had another one where it's like they played a scene and then you could choose different music to go with it to show you how music can define the thing. And they had like all these different cameras that were set up in there, like from the very first camera that they use and lights to like all the way up in there. They had microphones and I'm like, that looks like the microphone I use. So
It's me at movie level.
yeah. So it was really cool. But I was definitely there for the Muppets. And then they had like a whole Mission Impossible thing as well that I realized I never watched the Mission Impossible thing, but after watching it, I'm like, or going through that thing, I was like, wow, that's like the connecting of this movie world. I'm like, maybe one of these days I'll have to watch it.
Yeah, there's a lot of them though, right?
Yeah, I think there's like 8. And I think only the last 3 are have a connecting storyline.
Oh, the rest of them are just the same guy doing a bunch of different jobs.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of random missions. Sorry, I just realized I'm like, oh, I gotta make sure I take notes for later things. So yeah, that was pretty neat. But yeah, pretty much in the Jim Henson thing, I was like, oh man, here's the Muppets. This is cool. They had all this other stuff. There were some things I didn't even know that he did that were there. And I'm like, man, this is really cool. And then I turned the corner and they have Jareth and Sarah's clothes like on mannequins.
Costumes.
And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then you turn the corner and they're playing an excerpt from The Dark Crystal, which I'm really sad it wasn't like, it's the part where I forgot his name, the little angry fluff ball that just screams all the time. It's when Jen and Kira first meet and like he's in the like swamp and I'm like, oh man, this is right after it's like, oh man, I can't go alone. Well,
Time
alone,
to go alone.
alone I go. But then it's like, oh man, that's cool. And then you turn around and there's this full Skelky just standing there menacingly in the corner, just like, which, like it didn't make noises, but I'm just like,
that's how you can imagine it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we weren't sure if the Jim Henson display is still there now. Like it wasn't very clear, but it really looked like, I didn't see any signs that they were taking it away, but
Okay.
if you're wanting to go into New York, I think tickets were like $25. I can't remember.
For that many exhibits, sounds like not that bad.
Yeah, it's not like a huge like art museum kind of thing, but there's a lot of stuff packed in. Like we honestly spent 2-3 hours in there.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad price then.
Yeah. And then, but the other neat thing is like for a little bit extra, they play movies that they can watch there. Like they were playing K-pop Demon Hunters, which is why the whole thing was just packed with kids. So, but no, it was really fun. And yeah, I would definitely recommend if people are interested in movies or like how we're doing over the past couple of years of just really, well, I know Hop has said multiple times, expanding just your watched movies and in different genres and all that stuff. Like it's worth checking out.
And there is a lot of like going back and like watch, like last year we watched a lot of movies over kind of like decades. Not necessarily the goal, but some of the different directors we were looking for happen to be like in very different decades. And it's kind of cool to see filming change from that perspective. So I think it's something that I think a lot of people let themselves forget about, because I know you and I have talked a lot about like we have really high definition cameras and green screens now. So a lot of like movie magic doesn't feel like the same kind of magic it used to. Yeah. So getting to see the cameras and lights and microphones and props is fun.
I definitely saw that in my movie today that I'll be talking about.
Interesting. So, are you ready to roll some dice to figure out who gets to talk about their movie first?
Yeah,
So
I
we're
have mine
sticking.
here.
We're sticking to D8s because that's what you had in your hand.
That's what I had in my hand.
Lowest goes
I'm gonna
first.
write the next rule. Rule
Winner
2.
picks
Winner picks
next dice.
die. I was really tempted to write winner picks who die.
Dun dun dun.
So
We knew that these early episodes were gonna have a lot of like format changes.
yeah, well, to be fair,
we are.
we were solid for a whole year. The only thing that we still haven't figured out, and it's really hard to do with this format, is guests. And it's just for, I think this is a good time to say, because I know some people know, like there was some staple guests that we brought on, a lot of our friends. It was just, I forget who was the last guest last year. I know Knight was on.
Let's yeah.
See.
We
I
had
think we had J2. J2 was the last one.
that makes sense because I know we like had ideas for JR, but timing got weird. Same things with
and
Maddie.
System Shock.
And,
for pretty much all the people. And it was just pretty much like once April hit for both of us, I think life just got very chaotic. And then when summer hits, it's even more chaotic.
And then all of a sudden it's the holidays.
Yeah. And then with certain life changes with the half the cast here, it got even more chaotic. So it just made it was a year of chaos. So yeah, that's an off camera, an off
An
hot
aside.
mic. Yeah. But I definitely feel though if we yeah, I don't know.
Life be lifing, and that's okay.
Yeah. It's like, hey, if we can, I think the best way we could probably do it is like, hey, we want you on the show. Give us a date that works, and a week, like, the week before, like, this is the setup now. So it's like we'll give you a prompt. You got a week to watch it, and it's like if you feel that short notice, don't worry. We do it to ourselves every week, but
Dun, dun, dun.
it is time to roll some dice. I'm on the wrong thing. Boom. Are you ready?
Yeah. So lowest goes first.
Yes.
It might be
You know
me.
what? Who said lowest? Who made that rule? Because I'm like, if anyone
I think
paid
that's
attention,
you.
did it?
Because I tend to roll high. So last year you didn't get to yap.
I can't read my die. Okay, I think I won again.
Well, okay. I rolled a 1.
So did I.
See, this is why we said we can't roll this dice. It's not got enough faces. All right.
All right. We gotta
Same
go.
dice.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I rolled a 2.
I rolled another 1.
So you must have picked this roll.
It's just funny because I'm trying to roll the D8 and I realized it just doesn't.
It kind of clunks.
It's just like, dunk, this is me now. It's like, okay.
I do have a desk mat, so it has a little bit of a bounce when I like try to roll it.
Mine hit the notes. So.
All right, put in your time, sir.
All right, I'm writing the time now. Hopefully I can get the stupid graphic to actually fit the screen correctly. All right. I'm doing it right at 19 minutes. Where? So, or at least I'll be close to there. I just need the ballpark. So, once again, our prompt was movie poster we thought was cool from this list. And immediately when I was looking at this list, there was, I think about like 3 to 4 movies that I thought that I've been wanting to watch. And then as I was looking at that, I was like, there's this movie that's been on, I didn't set the timer, that has been on that list that has been on my to watch list for maybe a couple years now. And so I'm like, hey, this is the time. So the problem was, as I mentioned to Hop, I did not have an account to watch this thing. Fortunately, I knew a guy and got into there. I'm just gonna leave it at that because I don't actually know what the rules are in account sharing. But I don't have that account anymore, so you can't come at me.
Capitalism.
Yep. So I watched a movie from the 90s. I watched another 90s movie called Fargo.
I do really like that poster.
Yes.
And I think the only reason I thought about picking that one as well. I think the reason I didn't is because I kept getting confused because there's also a show.
There is a TV show.
Yeah.
So the neat thing always when I heard about this movie, like there's a couple things I heard about it of just how this is filmed. I know I shouldn't say I know, but I think nowadays this is done by the Coen brothers, and excuse me, I don't know. I remember hearing stuff. Do they? No, they're not the ones that do the Marvel stuff. That's somebody else, isn't it?
No, that's the Duffer Brothers, I
Yeah.
think. Oh, no. Duffer Brothers are Stranger Things. The Coen Brothers, are they the ones that reimagine Westerns?
Wow, I just realized I like a bunch of their movies. They did Big Lebowski. They've done
Oh, yeah, they did The Ballad of Buster Scruggs.
Yeah.
No Country for Old Men.
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Okay, so that's who I was thinking of.
Yes. Okay, this makes sense. Yeah, there's another movie on there that I've heard about that they've done. Oh yeah, True Grit was.
That's a Western. Yeah.
Where I just saw it. Where's their filmography? Because now it's gonna bother me. The Hudsucker Proxy, which I've heard that's really good, and the movie poster. It's pretty much the guy, like the person who created the hula hoop.
That's fun.
So,
Paul Newman.
Sorry,
go ahead.
So yes, this whole movie. So I heard by the Coen brothers, and at first I was like, I don't know a lot about the Coen brothers, and then I just found out I knew a lot more than I thought I did. But with this movie, the thing that I've heard about is like the little tagline on it is like a homespun murder story. Right at the beginning of this movie is that I think because I blanked a little bit, but it's just it was based off a true story, and oh yeah. Okay, here's the text that it was, because it wasn't like this is based off a true story. It's like, this is a true story. The events depicted in this film took place in Minnesota in 1987. At the request of the survivors, the names have been changed. Out of respect for the dead, the rest has been told exactly as it occurs. And holy fart crackers, this is a buck wild story. I'm not going to go into all of it because I do think it's worth watching. No
spoiler town. Got it.
No spoiler town. But essentially, the plot is there's, as I'm trying to find the names, Jerry Lundgaard, who is this executive sales manager for this car dealership. He needs money, and so he gets in contact with these guys to kidnap his wife and pretty much hold ransom for $80,000. And the thing is, they are going to try to get it from her father, because her father is very well off, has a lot of money, and he needs it. I don't know if it says why he needs the money, but yeah, I think he needs it for a loan. I think he needs it for a loan. That's what it is. He needs it for this loan and to like expand his business, but he just can't ask for help and all that stuff. So he needs like the $40,000 to put down the seed money or whatever. I don't know. That's not the point of the movie. So he does that, and things just go awry for for everything. And it's definitely very Midwestern. Like it's not like the straight story where it's just like, oh man, here's a lot of emptiness, because there is a lot of emptiness in here. Like the opening scene's really cool because it just opens up on a white screen and just has the text come by, like of the game of the movie, of the actors and everything and the directors, and it's just a blank white screen. And then you just see this like car pulling up and you realize it's snow. Like there's a car just driving through the snow, and it's like you're not sitting there looking at like an edited screen, you're not looking at like something digitally fixed later. It's they put the camera out in Midwestern snow and shot this scene, and like the way they set up the camera, you can't see the road, so it just looks like this thing is floating on over the like it's just like it, well, you don't even know it's snow. It just looks like this car's just floating towards you until it's like it gets closer and they move the camera a little bit and you're like, oh, there's roads. So yeah, it's, and that's just like the opening scene. There's like a bunch of other pretty neat scenes in there, but like what I was talking about like, oh man, the green screen stuff that they didn't have and all that. There's something, I know people fall in different camps, and like I understand why they went to digital blood for scenes, because hey, if you don't get the scene right and the blood pack explodes and everything,
you can't really redo
it. You gotta like clean out the car, get fresh clothes, reset everything, while digital blood's like, okay, boop boop boop, do it in post. There's a scene in this movie where somebody gets shot, and I'm like, I didn't realize the brain had that much blood. So, because it's just like someone gets shot in the head, and it's just like this fountain of blood, just like, and it's just like, choof, and I'm like, how? I'm like, it wasn't like gross because it's like kind of dark and everything, but it was just more like, oh, that was a lot.
That's surprising. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's like stuff like that, and speaking about prosthetics and everything, like there's different prosthetics that they do in this movie that just looks like it. There's some of the wounds that happen. It's just like, it's kind of a spoiler for stuff later, so I'm not going to go into it, but it's just like, oh my goodness, that's for something that was made in the mid 90s with the prosthetics and stuff, like it just looks really good and like painful for like, there was stuff just watching like this person having to change a bandage, and I'm like, ooh, that did not look good. like I know it's not real, but
I can feel it almost.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But overall, like the story is, yeah, at first you're just wondering like, okay, because like we're following the cops and they're just like following a completely different thing that has nothing to do with this kidnapping.
Okay.
Like they're actually following the murder. That is linked, but it's still like, yeah, it's like the kidnapping and everything just doesn't come out till later, and it's just the way they do police work and different things. It's just like, okay, that's interesting, but like the characters in there are just, a lot of the characters are very lovable, especially the sheriff or sheriff. I think it's the sheriff. Hold on, let me look through here. Yeah, police chief Marge Gunderson, and which is the crazy thing, like what she's doing, because this movie they kept it, to what we can tell, as true to like, I didn't look up how true it was, but I don't know. I'm gonna believe somebody when they say, when it's not based, and they're like, we kept everything as close to possible. Yeah, so this police chief is following down this murder mystery, and she's 7 months pregnant in
Oh.
the movie. Yeah. So, and she's like going in there, but like, and her husband, like he's not a cop. He's an artist, and like he makes stamps, and but it's just like the way they show their relationship, like they're definitely older, like a little bit older, but I don't know, it was the 90s, everyone kind of looked old. So, but there's definitely time in that relationship, and like the way that it's shown, it's not like how I feel it's normally shown in TV shows, where it's just like, the old ball and chain, or like I'm the cop, you got to listen to me, like I have a position of power, and all that. It's just more very much like there's like a whole scene where they're just like when you are introduced to Marge, like she's in bed sleeping, and the phone goes off, and she's like, what? And they're like, hey, we have something, you got to come down and see it. And they're like, oh, okay, well, I'll be there in a bit. And yeah, it's like that's how they're all talking. And her husband's like, you gotta go. And he's like, yeah, I'll make you breakfast. Like, no, it's early, stay in bed, sleep. No, you can't go out without a breakfast. Okay. And so she's like all dressed in her like uniform pretty much, and just sitting there eating toast and eggs before going out and seeing this murder. And then like she goes out, and it's like, okay, this is where the scene's gonna end. You see her walk out to her car, get in, get out, come back in. It's just like, hey, I need to jump. It's like, and that's how the scene, like their relationship is like it feels like so
Like
grounded.
comfortable. Yeah.
There's like a whole, like it's not a spoiler, it's like it's the first two things in the movie that just sets up their whole relationship, where she's like, okay, yeah, and call this person. It's like, what does this person have to do with this case? He's like, nothing, I need to go get some night crawlers for her husband. I'm trying to find his name. I can't find it. And so it's just the way they care for each other. It's I think this would probably be in my top 10 of like married couples, like on a TV show. Yeah, okay. The way it's shown, it's and yeah, like just like it's really hard to like talk about things in this movie, because it is a murder mystery, and it's just like I'm trying not to like
accidentally say too much.
Yeah. And so, but it's, I think visually, even though it's from 96, still a like visually it holds up. Story wise, it holds up. There's some stuff that like I think probably gets a little bit of a pass, because it's like it is based off of true events, like not like anything that's like morally terrible, like extremely morally terrible, because like there are parts where we're following bad people. Mm-hmm. And there's like a couple different parts where it's just like, hey, in that time they were they're like hiring sex workers. There we go, if I can pronounce things. And so it's like they show that on screen, which it's like at first you're like, why is this here? And it's just like a very like weird whole thing, and then it's just like there's just different things that like connect. Like there's reasons why it's in a movie. It's not just like, oh, we need a sex scene for our rating.
Sake. Yeah.
So, but yeah, trying to think of all the different things, but yeah, it's pretty much I need some water because I was yapping.
I guess I would ask you then, is this one of those movies you'd recommend like knowing as little about as possible to before going in?
I think so. Like, I didn't know the real story. I knew it was based off a real story, and I knew, like, I've heard people say what I said about Marge and her husband before. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would say like there's, if you know about the case and look it up, I don't think it's going to detract from it, but it's because it's very much like in the beginning, like you know all the bad players, and you're
Okay.
like how do the cops find them? And so it's not, the movie's not set up to be like, oh, who did it, like what's going on, because it's, we know who did it, like the whole case is there. um so okay, here we go. So this, the claims of factual basis is that the Coen brothers based the script off an actual criminal event, but then wrote the fictional story around it. So okay, so the, I wish I saw this before saying it. Still, like, there's actual murders in here, but it's just like, okay, so based around real things. Like, the actual murders were not committed in. Oh, okay. So, yeah, so Joel Cohen said that it was, the actual murders were not committed in Minnesota, which I guess that would make sense if they're not trying to, like, if stuff like this actually happened. Like, let's not even place it in the same spot. But like, apparently a lot of Minnesotians were speculating that it was connecting to this other case. But apparently Cohen's never heard about it.
Nope. That's
So,
funny.
and then, okay, so then 2015, they changed their explanation again, which was the story was completely made up, or as they like to say, the only true thing about it is that it's a story. So,
So they dramatized it more than that intro line leads you to believe.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but still, it's the, yeah. I don't know. Even with that, I don't think it really takes the wind out of the story. Like, it's still, I still think it's a really good crime mystery that's going on. Like, well, I don't even think it's called it should be called a mystery. It's probably more like a thriller, because like,
You know
you,
who's all involved. It's just how does it
yes.
go? Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, how is this all going to wrap up? So the okay, so apparently the wow, I can't talk. True story claim was a prank that the Coen brothers often inserted in their films. So
You got pranked.
it's fine. There's people that like that, well, I know certain people have different opinions of them now, but the Cinema Sins guys, that I used to listen to their podcast, and they spoke highly of this movie, and they, at that time, because this was definitely after 2015, where they also were saying, yeah, no, it's based off true events. So so it sounds like the murder mystery, the murders were, and then like the story that they built around it. So the
Yeah.
murders happened. It's just,
It reminds me of like when I went to watch Amityville Horror with someone. I think the intro to that also says like based on true events, blah blah blah. So then the person I was with was fully convinced that that particular house must be haunted because the movie must be true. And I was like, it only said based, and then we looked into it more, and it's that same kind of thing where it's like people heard of a haunted house, and then someone was like, well, let's set
yeah,
it in that house. If I'm remembering correctly, of course.
yeah. The, like, because I read the book, and the book says similar things, and I'm like, oh, okay, like that's a whole different thing, but it's like, yeah, but
How many thumbs would you give Fargo?
well, I only have two, so I'll give it like a 1.5.
One and a
1,
half
2.
thumbs?
Yeah. If
Okay.
with my only two thumbs, if I could collect more, that would make me a psychopath. I'm just cutting off random people's thumbs. But yeah, no, I definitely, I do think it's fun. I'm trying to think, because normally I feel like I'm pretty bad at the whole like content warning stuff.
I mean, like you said, there is like murders on screen.
Yeah, there's,
I'm assuming there's violence.
Yeah, the
You said
let's
lots of
see.
blood.
There is lots of blood. Yeah, so that would be it's kind of. Oh, there's the timer said stop talking. Um, yeah, so there it's all kind of tighter. Like there is. Yeah, there's like two on-scene murders and then or on-screen murders and a lot of aftermath of that. So there's a lot of blood. It not like there's blood, but it's not like I think how movies do today, where it's just like, oh my goodness, his guts are coming out. And it's like, or you can see the bone. It's more like yeah, like they got like cuts and stuff, and it's like that's a lot of blood. So there's that, and then as I said, there's a couple of sex scenes and on there. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like with anything I'm gonna say is with anything, do your own research. Just don't listen to a random guy
I mean,
on the internet. Like,
one of the big resources I know that's expanded itself is Does the Dog Die?
yeah,
So
that's how we found out what David Lynch films to watch.
Yeah. And I remember we thought about watching a different Bong Joon-ho movie, and then we looked up the Does the Dog Die, and even you were like, I think that's a lot for me.
So yeah, it's a good resource that I didn't use, but I still think, yeah, definitely look it up. But I enjoyed the movie. Everything I heard about it, I enjoyed it more. So I would definitely say, yeah, if you have HBO Max or you see it in the library and you have 98 minutes or less, because I'm pretty sure that includes credits, give it a watch. But now it is time to go to you. Are you readies?
Let me know when you've got the notes for yourself.
I am writing it now, so you can go ahead.
All right. So I was scrolling through this list, and I told Dpayne that I might go off list. But I really sat and thought about it and realized there's a movie that's really famous that I had actually never seen before. So going through the list, like, I agree with a lot of the cool posters. Like, one of my favorites is the Thing poster. The Alien poster is really cool. Jurassic Park's really cool. But I had seen those, and then you and I had recently watched a lot of the other ones on the list, like the we just talked about the movie when you were at the museum, and I'm blanking on the director's name.
Dark
Kubrick.
Crystal. Oh, Kubrick. Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
2001: Space Odyssey. I think that was on there.
Because a lot of people have that as like cool posters, and the same thing with like a lot of his movies have cool posters. But I realized I kind of compared against other lists.
That's the first one on here.
And I think a lot of people put this as their number one coolest poster, and I had never seen the movie, so I went with Jaws.
Ah.
Yeah. Apparently, I didn't realize it. It also just recently had its 50th anniversary.
Oh.
It came out in 1975.
Yeah. That's. Yeah, that last year.
Yeah, so I feel like, kind of like when we watch the Kubrick movies, that we had those moments where we were like, oh, this is where that meme's from, or oh, that's where this reference is from. That's what I kept having with Jaws. Like, it got to a point where the guy just goes, we're gonna need a bigger boat. I was like, oh, yeah. I recognize that. But I ended up watching it with Strider, and he likes the movie. So I was like, do you want to watch it with me? He's like, yeah, I'll watch it with you. The only thing wasn't prepared for is I didn't realize how long of a movie it was. I knew it was a thriller, and as with like the poster and everything, you can surmise it's about a shark.
I thought it was about a cheese.
Jaws.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted to say like bear, but cheese is what came out of my mouth.
But I wasn't anticipating 2 hours, but it does do kind of like what you said a little bit with the setup in Fargo, where some older movies give a lot more room for characters to breathe. So kind of like we talk about this in different movies that we've watched over time, but if Jaws was made today, Jaws would be a lot shorter. There'd be a lot less talking, and I wouldn't know who the characters are. I mean, we did watch, what was our holiday shark movie that we forced System Shock
Santa
to watch?
Jaws.
Yes. So it would have been like that.
That was a masterpiece.
Yes, it definitely was something.
I agree.
But yeah, so I was a little bit more surprised at the time spent on the character development of Jaws. And I guess I should give a synopsis. I don't know how much... I don't know. This feels like something that everybody is aware of it. Kind of like I said, like memes, but I also realized the musical score I knew more than I realized. Because anytime something dramatic would happen, it's that classic da-da, 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 that everybody is like aware of. But, so we have this, I think it's a fake northeast town. I believe when Strider looked it up, I think this was specifically filmed in Martha's Vineyard. Because in the beginning, I was very confused at the calm waters. I was like, I've never been to a beach without a single wave. Where are they? So he looked up where they filmed it. And I believe it was Martha's Vineyard. But you have this quaint little shore town where they're preparing for their 50th anniversary during the 4th of July. So they're expecting to have a bunch of tourists and a bunch of like people on the beaches. But slowly, some people start getting picked off by shark attacks. That's how I'll phrase that. And we have kind of that dynamic throughout this movie where we have this logical guy who's like, I don't want people to die. Let's not let the shark kill people. We have an obvious defense. Don't let people in the water. Who is fighting with the local policymakers that are like, but do you know how much money we'll lose if people are allowed on the beach? And then through that, he's also able to, the sheriff who wants to close the beaches is able to kind of recruit an oceanographer, and eventually he brings on another man into his crew to finally deal with the shark. But I think that while this is a thriller, it's also a little bit more character-based. Because you spend a lot more of the time of watching this. I think he's supposed to be like a New York City retired police officer or something along those lines. Because they make jokes about like, oh, you're a city boy, etc., etc. And his job descriptions in the beginning, they're like, the Karate Kids are like chopping fences. Can you fix that, sheriff buddy? And the sheriff is like, there's a dead body. I'm kind of busy. Like, so I think he was anticipating easier work, and then they go, hey, this girl's been missing, and he goes and investigates, and not much of a spoiler, because kind of the poster of the movie is the intro to the movie. So
okay.
Yeah. But it's just a very interesting look at, so you have this sheriff character who is your main character, and he's like very logical and he wants to take care of things, but everybody around him is like, is it that big of a deal? And then he hires on an oceanographer, and the oceanographer clearly has some skin in the game where he's uncovering some of the clues to help out the sheriff, to help fill in the gaps. Because the sheriff is like, I'm pretty sure this was a shark attack, and everybody else is like, shh, don't say the word shark or you'll scare everyone off the beach. And then, funnily enough, another thing we notice is in the very beginning, he's typing up like a police report. And they're using typewriters because it's the 70s. And it's supposed to say coroner's office, but it says coroner's office. I mean, sort of like, typo. You can't fix it. But yeah, so he's forced to kind of like investigate it quietly when he's suspecting that it's a shark. Then you have the oceanographer that comes into town. He's like, dude, it's a freaking shark. And he's like, look, I tried my best. Why do you think I called you in? And you just have this town that's going back and forth like, we could be exaggerating, like how many people really got attacked by sharks? And you have people that are like, my son's dead and I thought you were gonna protect my son, and the poor sheriff is just like, my hands were tied.
Told you to stay out of the water.
I know. But yeah, you have various levels of like shark attacks and various shenanigans. I think what Strider and I commented on that we found other than like the character stuff that was more than I anticipated, this plays around a lot with your expectations. So it is a longer movie. Like, I think it's pushing 2 hours or a little over 2 hours with the credits. But sometimes you're sitting there and you go, surely the shark is going to show up, and it's not quite what you expect every time. So it plays around with the tension. So then when he finally does show up, you go, uh-oh, things aren't good. So, I don't know. It was a pretty fun time. I was a little tired when I was watching it the other night. So I did drift off during a monologue or two. Because, like I said, there's, like, a lot of characters that get a pretty good amount of lines. And while the characters themselves are fun and have fun moments, sometimes they just kind of go on monologues. And you're like, you guys are on a boat. Just kind of, like, do the thing.
I was wondering if that was what you were going to bring up, the whole chatting on the boat.
Yeah, Strider was like, yeah, I've hung out with guys and it's too late at night and it goes from, like, stories to arguing to singing. And I'm like, oh, to be a guy. But, and then I joked, I was like, did you also get attacked by a shark shortly after? He's like, I can't say that's happened during one of my guy nights. I was like, okay, that's good at least. But you did talk about you liked the depiction of a relationship in Fargo. I cannot say the same in Jaws. Because we have a husband who is the main sheriff character who's like, I don't like what's happening here and I want to protect the town. And then you have his wife that's like, stop reading about sharks. You're going to scare yourself. And it's like, well, he should learn about sharks if he thinks there's a shark attacking the town. And then at one point she's like, one of the kids is playing in a boat tied to the dock. And he's like, get them out of the water. And she's like, what? He's in a boat. He won't get in trouble. And then he pulls open a photo album, and it's a shark biting through a boat. And she goes, oh my God, get out of the boat. I'm like, you guys are terrible at communication. Like, you should get on the same page with something here. And then I think there was a part later on, too, that I thought was really funny. It's not important to the plot, really. But before the three main characters go off onto their expedition on the boat, the wife is like, oh my God, come home safe, blah, 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 blah. You got this, blah, blah, blah. And then the old grizzled sailor who's like shark hunting for fun and it's his business says something really silly. And then the wife runs away crying, but she's running like a child because her arms are just flailing. She's like, I was just like, I'm sorry, is this a real person? Like, the men are written in... It's that, I think we've talked about this in different movies, where it's like, the men are written clearly by a man who understands men, and then the women are just like...
Oh, God, I have hysteria. Or whatever.
I have
the vapors.
Yeah.
I was like, what is that like? I have vapors.
Yeah, where they're like, I'm going to pass out. It's too stressful. It's like, okay, people. But no, I just thought it was really funny. And I think something really charming about watching these movies is really appreciating how different the style of filming was. Not just like with the pacing and the setup of the movie, but also just the technology. You kind of talked about the museum. And I did comment to Strider while I was watching this that I really like that they did not have sound design fully figured out yet. Not to say like the sound is bad, but to say like there's a scene where they're all in a courtroom together and you can hear everybody like whispering and talking and like saying stuff to each other. Whereas I feel like modern movies, they mic up the main characters and you get no background noise. You just get the main conversation. And I kind of prefer the busyness of these movies where they just kind of had the boom mic and didn't really, pick and choose the audio that was allowed in the film. Because it makes me feel like I'm in the room.
Yeah. It a lot of movies, I can't think of a good way of putting it, that come out now, but like especially when it's like in public, it feels too sterile.
Yeah, like you see people moving in the background, but you don't hear anybody else. You don't hear their footsteps. You don't hear dogs barking. It's just like, did you get the goods? Yeah, I got the goods. And then they just do their thing. Yeah.
You only hear what they want you to hear rather than like the surrounding area.
unless it's done specifically on purpose where it's supposed to be. Most of the time I feel like in modern films it's used to be like, oh, I'm overwhelmed, and then they play like voiceovers of other crowded noises. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Jaws is one of those, technically the plot is straightforward, and because it's simple, it makes for a very fun movie. The only thing is, like, I was thinking about it while I was watching it. I was like, how bad did shark popularity tank, and how bad was it for the shark population in itself when people were like, movies came out for this? And I think Strider said for a little while they just closed the eastern seaboard because everybody was paranoid about the potential of the shark. But I think people did the math and they said the animatronic creature that they used for the shark in this movie is like a full 5 feet longer than an actual great white. So it's way bigger than anything. And they do kind of comment on it throughout the movie because the oceanographer is like, I want a picture of it. I want blah, 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 blah. But I think Strider said that he had heard a fact that was like the animatronic was not well made and the operators were scared of it because apparently it was really loud and sometimes it wouldn't always open back up when they needed it to. So people were actually worried that people might die to this thing.
Isn't that what, like the Five Nights at Freddy lore?
No, that's just Chuck E. Cheese, I'm pretty sure.
I think there's somebody was in one of the suits and it like, I don't know, I never played the game, so all I know is like, I think by random videos where the internet's like, you will like this. I'm like, why? But I think there's one of them where a guy dies inside the suit and becomes the soul of whatever. It's stupid.
So yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's, if I remember correctly, one of the plot points that they add later on, I know this because I watch streamers who play the full, the full breadth of the games. I believe what it is. Oh, and also it was in Dead by Daylight, so Strider was also interested in it. But I believe at one point there was a guy that was putting kids into the suits, and their souls were getting imbued into it. Like he was hiding his victims in the Five Nights at Freddy's suits. And I think there's a point where he gets in a suit and maybe gets stuck in a suit as well at one point. I don't know.
That's got to smell great.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of lore behind that.
I cut you off, though, from real life.
Real asterisks. One thing that is real in the movie, there's a scene where they catch a shark thinking it's the shark. And I looked over to Strider. I was like, please tell me that's not a real shark. And he gave me a side eye and looked it up. And he was like, if it makes it better, they didn't kill the shark. I was like, what does this mean? He was like, somehow they were able to auction for a shark and get it on set. And I was like, I don't know if that's better. I don't think that's better for, like, my own personal sanity. But yes, I went into this movie anticipating animal harm. Right, because it is a movie about a killer shark. So at one point, there will be harm to sharks. I just felt that there was harm
to a real one?
To an innocent shark. And I know that is like a plot point as well. But it is weird to know that there was a time where you could go to an auction and just acquire a body of a shark. But I did joke with Strider. I was like, didn't the auctions for cadavers get banned, like, later than we would have hoped? And he was like, I guess you're right. Because I know I watched a horror movie. I don't know why I can never remember it. But the concept of it was there was a business that was trading cadavers to sell to like students for them to do autopsies and learn how to do autopsies. But there's like a nerve agent that got dropped off at this particular location, and then it made zombies.
Oh, Reanimator. No, that's not right. That's not the movie.
No, Reanimator is a movie I really like, and that's a very different plot point. But no, overall, I think Jaws is very fun. I am curious. I don't know. Have you ever read the book Jaws?
No, I haven't, but
I feel like the movie is probably more than enough for me. I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not reading the book.
Yeah, I have a feeling that it would be a lot of, there'd probably be more of the, I don't think I've seen bits and pieces of Jaws. So
Okay.
like I haven't seen the full thing. Like I've seen it on TV and I seen the end and I saw a
Yeah.
couple other things. I don't think I've ever seen the beginning. But
Okay.
I don't know. It's just I would feel just from reading a lot of like classical literature from this past year, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lot more of the hunting on the seas. I don't know how in the movie how long it is. It sounds like it's just
Oh no, Jaws the novel was published in 1974, so it's not even going to be that much of a classic.
okay. Yeah, so it still I feel like it I don't know. It just sounds like it would be a lot more of a focus on the like on hunting it or just like a lot of the kill because it's one of those things. It's not like
Sorry.
Sansa. What?
So, I looked up the novel, and like I see where a lot of it does kind of like. I see where the movie and the novel kind of go hand in hand, but then there's just this one paragraph. Like I said, in the movie, I didn't feel like the wife was given much like attention at all. But there's a paragraph here that says, in the book synopsis, the main sheriff's wife is depressed and lamenting the loss of her youth and the affluent lifestyle she had prior to marrying the main character and having kids. And there's a whole plot line about like someone that she had like dated and they're trying to like seduce each other and everything. And I did get a vibe at one point that in the movie, I was like, why are they flirting at the dinner table in front of her husband? I guess it's in the book.
Yeah. It's
Oh, and at one point it even says that the main character is like the main character suspects that as the summary says, they had a liaison and he becomes obsessed and tormented by it. And I'm just like, see, I would have loved to see that in the movie. Just randomly throw in a cheating scandal in the middle of shark hunting. I'd be confused and go, where did this come from? But it does
someone's
not look.
mine.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. I think for the most part, it does seem to be pretty straightforward adaptation.
Mm-hmm. Which I think a lot of those books were like that.
Yeah, because we said 2001 Space Odyssey was written in tandem with the movie script, right?
Yeah. The only examples that I can think that aren't is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I forget the new movie that came out, or the newest movie. I can't remember the actors in there, but apparently the author worked with the directors and all that stuff and made changes to the script that it's like, all right, or changes to like the story and like approved as like this will make more sense for what you can do on screen and everything and not go extremely over budget. And then the biggest and best example I can think of is the Princess Diary. I think that's what it's called. No,
Princess
not
Bride.
Princess Bride. I'm always thinking the Princess Bride, but then it's like the Princess Diary is what comes up. It's like I know that's
Rest
not the
in
right
peace,
movie.
Rob Reiner. But yeah, I do remember the author for that one was offered a lot of like a lot of directors were like, I want to make the movie, and the author was like, no.
Yeah, he rewrote like no, it's like it won't make sense like the book like
Adapted.
Yeah, so straightly adapted. So let's work together. And it's like if you're gonna, I want you to do it, and I want you to do it well. Was there like your time ran out?
My timer. Okay, I'll wrap it up by saying.
Okay.
Oh
no, I wanted to finish what you were gonna say, and then I have I think one question. Or I guess it's like a two-parter question.
All right, I'll just wrap it up by saying I would also give this 1.5 thumbs up. I think number score, I said like a 7 to 8 out of 10. I think it's a very fun movie. I think in some ways it it almost like takes itself too seriously sometimes and not seriously enough other times. So sometimes I'm just like silly. But no, I'd recommend watching it. I think you don't have to worry about whether or not you know a lot about the movie or the soundtrack or the quotes already. I think it's just because it's a thriller. You're there for the ride, not necessarily for any kind of particular plot heavy parts.
Yeah, one of these days I'll watch it. I'll watch it by myself because the frequent listener doesn't like watching anything that's like more than 2 years old. So,
but a question for me.
yes. Well, it was brought up earlier, but who do you think would win? Like if they had to go head to head, Jaws or Santa Jaws?
Oh, Jaws for sure. So I believe people have named the Jaws shark. I don't know if it's named in the movie or if it's in the book, but I've known him as Bruce.
Yes, I heard
Finding
that,
Nemo and everything, yeah. So a lot of people, or maybe that's just what they called the animatronic and it carried over. But yeah, Bruce would win because the Santa Jaws, while he does hunt people specifically, makes a lot of mistakes and a lot of people like half get away alive and half eaten. He's a very silly guy. He puts himself in like weird situations. Whereas Bruce, he's a very smart shark in the way that he's willing to be patient in ways that Santa Jaws isn't. And I say this as if like this is a serious discussion. But Bruce is also massive. Bruce is much bigger. I feel like Santa Jaws, when they show him, he's like a generally like smaller side of a great white because animation budget. Whereas Bruce is like he's bigger than a shark. A normal shark is.
Yeah. Which brings me to my second question, which honestly, I don't know why this movie wasn't on the top 50 most coolest posters ever. But it's another monster question. So Jaws, or Bruce, since he won that one, do you think Bruce would win against Sharktopus?
I think I have to give it to Sharktopus only because he's been bioengineered by the Navy and theoretically could have commanders brain control him to tell him what to attack and what not to, but he evolves past that. Also, he doesn't have the disadvantage of only being stuck to the ocean.
Yeah.
He can go on land, eat a bunch of people, refuel, and then dive back in.
Yeah, he's not even limited by fresh and salt water.
No, nothing matters to him. He is just a killing machine.
That's why he has 3 movies and Jaws dies in 1. Oh, spoilers.
You're the one that hasn't seen it.
Yeah. Oh, man. I think like once or twice a year, I'm always like, man, I miss Sharktopus. I hope they make another one.
Yeah, I have a very soft spot for movies on what was previously known as the Sci-Fi Channel. I know they still call themselves the Sci-Fi Channel, but they spell it silly, so I don't like to count it anymore. But yes, any other questions for me before I bring out the wheel?
I don't. I just had 2 fun questions because I didn't have like real questions like you had for me.
That's fine. All right.
It's late.
So if you want to make a note, I'm going to start hitting record soon.
I will. Yeah, you can start now. I will be writing the time.
All right. I'm hitting start recording. For anybody that's curious why I'm announcing it is so that if you watch us on YouTube, we can have the edit where you can watch the wheel live and in action. For now, it's just on my screen, and Dpayne has to trust that I'm not a liar. I send him the footage anyway, so he would call me out.
We will all know if she's lying very easily if you're watching the YouTube video.
All right, I am clicking spin.
Whee!
It's slowing down.
Yeah,
what
it's
are we gonna get?
Not being able to see it. You're like, man, this is a really long time. It's like what, probably a full like 10, 15 seconds of spinning.
Yeah, because it's a pretty big wheel because we started with 50 prompts. We're down to 48. We have the winner for what our next movie choice is. It is a musical.
Oh, I like those. That's why it's on there. Who wrote that one? You did.
That makes sense. Yeah, that should be fun. That gives us lots of options. And I do think it's fun that both of us are going for movies we haven't seen yet.
Yes. Yeah, that was something that we never said was a hard and fast rule, mainly because there's prompts on here where we will have to, there's a stronger potential to break them. At least I think there was, but now I can't remember. So I guess the strongest one I think is the I just saw one of the prompts I wrote and I'm like, that is chaos. Number 7 on my list.
7 on your list. Sorry, I have a lot more it's open than I anticipated.
I'll just say it out loud. It will be a peek into what's next. The last movie of a series that you never watched.
Not going to be confusing at all.
Yep.
You can watch Mission Impossible.
That's true.
8.
Yeah. I think when I get that, I want to go very cult, classic, weird. That's the other thing. I was like, if I can do weird, I want to do weird. So I don't know what I'm going to do for this one, but I got a week to find out.
Yeah, I did at first when I was looking for Jaws. Speaking of everything, I was like, I don't own any of these services, so I went to my library. And my library, apparently, all of the local branches bought the 25th anniversary edition. Mm-hmm. So all of the branches for my library system basically had a DVD copy in stock and available. So Monday evening, I was like, oh, the library's open until 9. I'll just go into the library and pick up a DVD. It's pretty nice.
It does sound nice. I had to ask the kindness of people's hearts to let me see.
But yeah, so do we have anything to announce before we say goodbye to the people?
Not that I can think of. So join us next week as we share a musical, and we are not held to a list, so which instantly makes it way more difficult.
The other list only had 50 options.
Yeah, but that one was pretty easy. I wouldn't say easy, but I think it was pretty easy to slim it down because it's just scroll through what movie poster caught my eye. For just briefly, not going to go fully into. There was so Brazil was one that's a recent addition to my list, but that wasn't streaming anywhere that I could easily get it. And then very much on brand for me, which who knows, I might put it in later. Godzilla versus Biollante. I'm just like, a Godzilla movie, heck yeah. So anyway, that is it. Join us next week, and yeah, until next time.